All right, so we've got Ritzy, also known as James Bevins from Efuse. Here, he is the creative director for Efuse. Go ahead and introduce yourself if you would.
Appreciate it, Rex. So yeah, I mean, already got a little bit of the intro there. James or Ritzy is kind of my gamer alias name, but I'm currently the creative director at eFuse. I kind of do a lot on the marketing side, from creative to socials to just building out marketing campaigns. And yeah, I've been in esports for like 4 years now, working for eFuse for almost two. But I'm 23 and just recently graduated college and working full time at a great job, so I can't complain.
That's awesome, man. So I just want to say, first of all, y'all are effing killing it. I mean, straight up, I don't even know what else to say, about your team. You guys are really hitting it on all cylinders right now. Um, so I just want to go into like your background really quick. What were you doing before you were at Efuse?
So before eFuse, I was in college at the time at Ohio State, just trying to really get any esports job that I can. I've been passionate about the gaming industry for a while now, even since like high school. I started my own gaming organization a while ago. Of course, I had no money and was young, so couldn't really run a gaming organization well, but I did my best. Got a couple of early sponsors, but definitely never made anything of that. So then I started to, as I was in college, get some kind of more real experience with really anyone that I could. I joined our esports club team at Ohio State at the time, as they the title was social media chair, but really I just helped to run some of our social accounts at Ohio State for the esports club. And then after that, I actually got my first kind of more legit job. It was to be a student gaming ambassador for CSL, or the Collegiate Star League. And that was, let's see, I think 3 years ago now. And did that on contract for I think 6 months. And it was kind of at the end of that, I actually just got a random LinkedIn message from MJB, the current boss at eFuse. And that's how I first got the foot in the door at eFuse. So kind of just getting jobs where I could. I was a pizza delivery driver as my main source of income throughout college, and even at the end of high school, I did that for a while. But the whole focus was just to somehow, some way, get my foot in the door in any esports opportunity that I could.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, and that's I'll be honest, man. I'm kind of in that particular seat like that you were in then. That's where I'm at now. I'm just literally just trying to get my foot in the door. And when I found eFuse, I was like, this is too cool. And I saw especially seeing the event moderator thing, I was all over it. Because I'm literally just I don't want to do my day job for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Want to
Hmm.
work in an industry that feeds my soul. If it so to speak. Um, so Adrian asked a question. He just wants to know what it was like when you got that message from Matt, that LinkedIn message. Like, did you know him before that? Did you know of eFuse before that? Like, where was that at?
So I actually did not know of him or eFuse at that time. I think he saw on my LinkedIn profile, because he was living in Columbus at the time, and he was at the very early stages of starting eFuse. There was no actual website yet. It was just kind of an idea, and obviously he had a little bit of a plan built out for what that website would look like and what it would be for, but. I had no idea about them at all. He just saw that I was involved at Ohio State with the esports club. I think that's why he originally reached out. I'm not sure if it, was in hopes to bring on an intern. I honestly think it was just that he wanted to learn more about kind of what esports looked like at Ohio State, and he saw that I was a person to, have that conversation with. So I didn't really think anything of it. He reached out. He saw that I was involved. He said he'd like to talk sometime. He said their office was actually kind of close to where I was at the time, so I said that I would come in. I came in. We talked kind of about his vision for the platform, and I mean, at that point, I thought it was super awesome. Like, I definitely had like I saw his vision. It made sense to me, and I thought that there was definitely a spot for that in the industry. So I was definitely intrigued after that first meeting, but again, still nothing came out of it. I then sent a follow-up email just asking if I can, intern. I'll take any pretty much position that they had, and that's how I first started. So yeah, didn't think too much at first, Adrian.
That's really cool though, man. Like just I've been telling people like I mean I get asked about streamer stuff all the time. I do okay for myself when it comes to that. And the biggest thing is everybody's like, well, bro, how'd you do it? Like, how'd you get to where you are? I literally just did it. I always say you miss 100. I mean, I know I'm not the only one that ever says this thing as a Wayne Gretzky quote, but yeah, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, like quite literally. So just shoot your shot, boo boo. That's that's my thing. Just shoot your shot and just get it done. If you've got credentials of any kind, if you've got something, anything that's gonna back you in that in to that person's mind, literally just do it. The worst you can get is a no. You already have a no sitting there doing nothing. The worst you can get is a no. So all right. So let's talk a little bit more about Matt. I don't know a whole lot about Matt. He's an Ohio State graduate as well, right?
He actually graduated from OU, the Ohio
Ah,
Bobcats.
gotcha. Crosstown rivals.
Yeah.
That's
Not so much rivals, just the
yeah,
other
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of the other Ohio school. When you think about colleges in Ohio, it's
for
always
sure.
either Ohio State or OU. They're actually known as the party school, but
Can you speak to Matt's leadership skills? I've heard a lot about how the culture that he's building, the atmosphere that he's building there at Efuse. Can you speak on that?
yeah, I'm kind of glad you asked about that. Usually an interview you focus it on them, but I mean MJB or Matt is a big part of kind of how this whole entire team was built anyway. So I definitely have to give my kudos to the boss man. He is only, I think he's 24 right now. So like extremely young, barely older than me, which is just crazy. Like the amount of time that he puts into this company is insane. But he is an OU graduate. He started working on kind of a senior capstone project, and it was to build out to kind of, I could be butchering this a little bit, but to my knowledge, it was to build out kind of a whole entire company plan. They had to come up with a business, and each group had a different sector. And I think that he just so happened to get placed into esports or the gaming world in general. And that's how he originally started working on the idea for eFuse. Through his research, he saw that the industry was super fragmented. There was not like really any good one spot for people to go for events or to even network with each other. I mean, even to this day, a lot of esports networking is done on platforms that aren't necessarily meant for that industry, but there is like a niche esports, category. Like on Twitter, for example, there's a whole entire niche esports community where everybody pretty much knows each other within that community. But if you weren't on Twitter, you would have no idea how to even, come into contact with a lot of these people. So that's how the original idea for eFuse came about. And then, he started to slowly build out the team. I was like the fifth or sixth person to join, but now we have like, I think more than 40 people on our team. And the amount of kind of time and effort that he's put into this company is pretty insane. Um, he he is up earlier than everyone. I don't know when he sleeps or if how long he does sleep for, but the amount of just like the amount of meetings that he has through the week, the amount of things that he's got to keep track of just on the higher level, and even the pressure. Like I can't even imagine that. Even myself having a little bit higher of a position in the company, it's already a lot of pressure sometimes because if something's wrong, like that's on you. Well, for him, every single thing that happens in this company, even if it's technically someone else's fault, gets drawn back to him. He's the one that has to make the tough decisions. He's the one that, has the final say in terms of product direction. So, uh, MJB is definitely a unit. I know the original question was on the leadership side, which kind of all goes hand in hand with what I just said, but he's also just done a really great job of building the culture here at eFuse and recruiting everybody that's currently on the team. Like, luckily and hopefully now he's to a point where even though he still is constantly doing something, he can trust everyone else on the team to keep things moving and do it at an elite level. So he's hired people that are super hardworking, super dedicated to the company. They see the same vision that he does. So we're kind of all just working as a unit to, as we say, go to the moon.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome, man. Like I said, I've just like because I will not lie. I basically stalk everybody at Efuse on Twitter, and I won't even lie about it, dude. I'm like, I don't even know why, but I'm so in on you guys. It's incredible. Um, speaking to the vision that when he first contacted you and you went there and had that sit down meeting with him at first, how close to that vision that he explained to you are we at right now? Like, are we just about there? Are we exceeding that vision? Like, where are we?
That's another great question. We are the vision, in a lot of ways it's stayed the same. In other ways, it's changed in that we've had a lot of new opportunities come up that we definitely did not initially plan for. So as far as the eFuse platform, the original goal was we wanted to build this website and this app that connected gamers to each other and opportunities in the industry, whether it's jobs or team openings, becoming a professional player, getting into a tournament, getting a internship for your favorite organization, like stuff like that. That's something that was a part of the vision from the very beginning. A lot of the stuff that you'll see on the app on efuse.gg, like those are things that we wanted from the beginning. We wanted esports news, we wanted good content, we wanted a bunch of different job opportunities to be able to connect people that want to work in this industry too. We wanted the social media aspect to where you can really network with other people in the space. So all of that stayed the same. What's different is all of the new opportunities that have come up. One of them, the biggest ones being all of the events that we've put on ourselves and helped to put on. That was definitely not any original plan, but we just I'm not sure how it started, but we started to get involved in the event space, possibly even back to Keem Park, which was Warzone Wednesday, which is almost over a year ago now at this point. I think was our first start into the event space, and to this day we have a full production team, and just this week alone we have 4 events with massive partners like the Misfits and USO and, TP with Teeps Trials, which is happening tomorrow. So we definitely did not account for any of that, but that's been a huge unlock for us in terms of just driving brand awareness around eFuse, but also, having users come to the platform because of the events that we're putting on.
Wow, yeah, absolutely, man. I tell you, like the event stuff, I didn't. It's not that I didn't see it coming. It was just when I started really, following a little bit more closely and realizing the people that you guys were working with and the influences that were, the let me rephrase that, the marketing that you're basically doing just by being a part of these events with these, like Misfits, like last night's event, they have 750,000 followers on Twitter. Like they're a big organization that is doing big things and has been like they're one of the original like big organizations, if I remember correctly, when esports really kind of started to hit the fan. And just to get the opportunity to play or to work with them is outstanding. And again, knowing that eFuse is such a young company as it is, it's absolutely incredible. I mean, I did hear, the huge investment that was made, was it almost a year ago, I think now. I'm sure that's helped exponentially. I wouldn't assume that he was expecting to have something like that kind of fall into his lap. I'm sure he worked his ass off for it, but just seeing the potential from what can be done with a little bit of money backing you too, it's incredible. It really is. Let's see. Keem Park. Let's see. Adrian says that was only 4 months ago for Keem Park. Does that sound right to you?
That does not sound right. That was Adrian, you got to go back and do your research. That was definitely more than 4 months ago.
He's probably just trolling you. He says he's fond of doing that.
That's definitely true. I would read his messages with a grain of salt for
Right,
sure.
right. Yeah. He comes in and trolls me every once in a while. He's usually pretty civil though. I'll give him that much.
Not in my chat.
All right, so let's talk about you a little bit more. So obviously you are the creative director there at eFuse. Um, what's your day to day like? What exactly are you doing? Where can we see your influence the most from an outside perspective, kind of looking in?
Yeah, so kind of kind of hard to answer at the moment because I'm transitioning a little bit out of some of the previous responsibilities that I had and into some new ones, which also is coming with a title change, which isn't public yet, but just so creative director for now. That's what we'll go with. But as far as my day to day, it's kind of shifting a little bit away from managing the creatives as we brought on Owen, who is our art director now, and he's kind of taking over that responsibility and more into kind of strategic thinking and really looking 3 months, 6 months ahead and basically deciding on what we're doing from a marketing standpoint, which obviously that can be broken down into a lot. But, kind of from this day moving forward, the plan is for me to really be able to look forward and build marketing campaigns and social campaigns around upcoming announcements, product launches, events, stuff like that. That way we're, really getting ahead of the ball rather than kind of being a little bit more reactionary, which
Okay.
to some extent is what it's been up to this point, just because of how much we're doing and the team size that we have. Obviously, we've grown a lot, but it's probably pretty likely that we'll continue to grow over the next year or two, especially. And day to day, like specific details, still a little bit of creative management, a lot of conversations connecting the what the creative team is working on and the partnerships team with all these events. We pretty much build out a new creative package branded entirely for that partner. But that, includes like 30 plus graphics usually. So that's something that, we just this week alone, that's 120 graphics that we have to delegate across our creative team, which is 3 or 4 members at this point. So it's a lot for them to work on. And past that, I also am kind of our sole social media manager at this point, which will be changing soon. But I do run all of the Efuse socials, so mainly Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We'll post a little bit on LinkedIn. I don't run our TikTok. I do help with a little bit of the strategy side there, but Anish is kind of handling the TikTok. So main responsibilities: managing creatives and posting to socials, but slowly shifting into more of a strategic role and looking forward and kind of building marketing campaigns around that.
That's awesome. So, yeah, it kind of sucks that you're shifting, but it sounds like you're gonna be one of the right hand men, is what it sounds like. If it sounds like Matt's gonna be looking to you, to for a lot. If you're looking at strategy, if you're looking at marketing, um, that sounds like a good change to me. If we're being honest, that's cool, man. That's good for you. But I
Yeah, I
did,
appreciate that.
yeah, absolutely. So, that being said, though, you said that you're going to be essentially moving out of that social media role. Is that right?
So not entirely moving out of the social media role, but more just having someone come on to be able to help me with that.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I mean, even from my standpoint, there's a lot of things that I'd like to be able to do on our socials and post more. Like I'm the only person that's posting right now, so I'm not posting as much as we could be, and especially in the evenings and on weekends and during events. So bringing on someone who will be able to help me with that, will be able to kind of step back and put more thought and more execution into our social strategy. Because I mean, socials have been a great unlock for us. You know, we didn't necessarily know that we were going to be able to grow our socials this easily when we established the original eFuse platform, but Twitter kind of was the first place that we connected with the esports industry in general in terms of announcing eFuse to the gaming world. And the initial launch, we did a lot of initial pushes through our Twitter and Instagram. So there's a lot more to do there. I'll just be heading into a little bit more of a strategic role on the social side, and we'll be having someone who can help with executing, scheduling posts, and really spreading that across our different channels, as well as looking into adding more channels on top of what we're doing.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I totally get that. Like I've been so I just took on a role with a small organization called Aspyre Entertainment. I run the Efuse organization there for them. So dude, I totally get it when you're the only one posting, managing my, my personal brand, managing the organization brand and being able to make sure that I've got everything scheduled and make sure that I've got enough posts going up every single day. It's tough, definitely being that sole provider is definitely rough. So I get that needing that second person. Now I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but y'all gonna be reactivating that intern opportunity on the site anytime soon?
I would love to be able to answer that confidently, and definitely, definitely, the first time it went up was not the most ideal situation with how it panned out, but um, very likely, you probably won't see it anytime soon.
Gotcha.
Is my honest answer.
Understandable.
But
Understandable.
it's definitely a possibility. We're working through some things on the back end with someone that we might be bringing on, so everything should be going good. But if we do run into any issues, then at that point we can expect another opportunity, because I definitely need a right hand social man.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Now I'm just gonna bring you in on some information. So when that post went live, right? When I saw that, I think the very day that it dropped, I sat here on stream for almost 2 hours writing up all my fucking responses. Pardon my language. I'm like,
I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna do the best. I'm gonna be the best. Oh man, sorry. Yeah, I was.
No, I mean it definitely was. It was not an ideal situation to launch that and then kind of pull it back. That was not how we planned for things to go. But I mean, even in the time that it was up, like I was looking at some of the applicants and the responses, and obviously I saw yours in there as well. But there was you and a lot of other good candidates as well. So
Oh,
I know
I'm
we know
sure.
that there's people interested. We just kind of got to figure it out on our own end, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, when you're in a growing stage like this, you got to make sure that every move is the right move. On as dedicated as you can be to it, and when you make a move, you have to be able to roll with it, and hopefully it is exactly what you needed. You know what I mean? That's interesting. I just want to say thank you again for coming on, man. I it's really cool to kind of get to meet you a little bit and understand a little bit about how you work and everything. Um, Geez, I actually don't really have a whole lot of other questions. Is there any questions in chat? Anybody? Now, I do need to tell you this though. Adrian, when he said 4 months, he was talking about the investment apparently, not not the Keem Park thing. He says tell him that I said that, or oh no, where was it? Also get the correction in because my credibility is ruined.
All right, he saved himself. That sounds more true. Yeah, we've gone through 2 investment rounds. The first one was pretty close to when we originally launched the platform, which I think was 1.4 million.
Mm-hmm.
And then our latest investment round, which included some of the athletes like OBJ and Zeke, that was 6 million.
Oh my God. So the article that I read had those names attached to it, but had the 1.4 million attached to it. I didn't read anything about no 6 mil. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, maybe you only saw the initial funding round. We did have another round earlier in this year that we announced. But yeah, it's been going good. I'm just excited to see where we are continuing to head. Like if we could just copy and paste our finished vision of what the platform could be right now, then I would have full faith that we're going straight to the moon. But these things take time to build, and the more you build out a platform, when you want to add in a new feature or change something, there's a lot more that goes into one simple change than when you were first building the platform. So
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So I actually just had a game developer on a little bit ago, and that like that statement can completely apply, to either of those. Like in game dev, you add one feature or you make one implementation to change something, and then you have 7 other problems that you have to fix, or you have an overwhelming
Exactly.
difference to the game, and now it plays different, so you have to get it back to what it was while still keeping the integrity of those changes. Um, yeah, that's interesting. So I do have one last question in closing. Kind of going off what you just said a moment ago. If you could, okay, what's the last piece of the puzzle here? Like, what is it going to take for you guys to get where you want to be? Like, what's that last piece? I mean, I'm sure there's more than one, but
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of last pieces. I mean, there's no really even last piece because it's constantly kind of iterating, on the same things. But um, I mean, we have a lot in store. It's just things that we're working to finalize, deals that we're working to finalize, and then obviously eventually we'll be announcing those. So there's a lot of exciting things that are already in store. We just kind of gotta get to the final point on those, and I can't speak too much on what those items are, but hopefully here in the next few months and especially over the next year, you guys will see some big and pretty crazy announcements come from the EFU side of things. I mean, as far as the platform, we want to continue to build a platform that's just it continue to make it easier and easier for people to connect with each other. We already have a lot of things that we're working on to do that. We want to continue to add opportunities for people. So, if someone wants to play a Fortnite tournament, we want them to be able to come to eFuse and they're gonna have plenty. We don't want just the sole eFuse events that come up to be the only ones that people can play in because we know that those usually are most of the time catered towards the bigger influencers and the bigger players. We want anyone to be able to find opportunities. Pipeline, we didn't really talk too much about that, but that's kind of one of the more recent launches from eFuse. And I think that pipeline has a lot of promise in it and kind of being the high school similar to the ESPN, I think top 150 is what their class is, but similar to that, we want to be like the number one recruiting place that colleges will go to recruit players to their esports teams. That's only going to continue to become more of a thing as the years go on. I would not be surprised, not sure when we get there, but I would not be surprised if 5 to 10 years from now we're seeing it be a pretty common thing for players to get full ride scholarships to colleges just to compete in esports. And I think as time goes on, we're also going to see just a better path in general from high school to college to professional gaming. Obviously, it's not traditional sports. Like, you don't have to play college to go to the pro level. Right now, that's not really a pathway that exists. Like, no pro teams are looking at the colleges right now. But I think that's something that can happen in the future. So, pipeline's going to be another big one. A lot of partnerships coming up that'll really help us in terms of what we can offer from a portfolio standpoint on eFuse to the jobs and tournaments that are offered on the platform to even the content that we're putting out on the news portal and just keeping that relevant for everyone. So there's a there's a lot. I think that we're definitely doing all of the right things right now. It's just a matter of finalizing all these details, keeping the ball rolling, and as we say at eFuse, just stacking wins each day. And really, as we continue just to stack these wins, it's going to make the platform and eFuse as a whole just a much better place to be.
absolutely, yeah. That reminds me of again a quote that I read about Matt. So he basically said, if out of a 365-day year, if we can win 300 of those 365 days, we're moving in the right direction. You try to win every day, but you understand that you may not win every single day. But I've actually been kind of trying to take that to heart myself, just kind of trying to live that too, because I know you can't always progress every day, day over day over day. It's tiresome. It's tiresome to say the least. So that's awesome, and I appreciate the information. I did have a question. Do you have any idea why you guys decided to name it eFuse?
The original name was actually not eFuse. I want to say the original name was E3, which, like, yeah, there's literally
Already an
which,
E3.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I swear I could be wrong on that, but I want to say that was the original, or maybe it was 3E. It was something pretty meh. Um, and then
Gotcha.
from that, I guess we landed on Efuse. I think that was very likely a name that MJB came up with. I think that was already established kind of
Oh, okay.
right before I joined the team. But it stemmed from the idea of like the fragmented industry, and he wanted to
Okay.
fuse everything together. I think that's
Interesting.
how he landed on that name.
So how that seems kind of counterproductive when you got a bomb as your logo. I mean, you're gonna blow the
Yeah,
industry
because the bomb
apart?
explodes.
Yeah,
Yeah. It is a little.
Interesting.
It's a little interesting, but
That's cool though. I like that. Yeah.
we don't think too much about the name now. It's more of like, what does eFuse mean, and
Yep.
what is the brand that it represents.
The implications of it instead of just what the actual name. Gotcha. That's cool though, man.
Too late to go back and change that.
Yeah, a rebrand at this point might be detrimental. Okay, so Zane said he was just having a conversation with some people, basically about what the pipeline for esports in high school and college would look like, and he loves the fact that it's being done. Yeah, so Zane's actually the creative director for Vigor, the game that I play all the time. So yeah, he's been in a lot of different stuff. He worked for NASCAR for a little while. Streams and stuff like that. I don't know if he does any real competitive stuff, but yeah, it's just really cool to know that y'all are focusing on the youth, because the youth is the future of this industry. I mean, I'm getting old at this point, but hopefully I'll be around long enough to see the future. Regardless, thank you again, Ritzy. I think we're at that time where I'm gonna go close it up now. Really though, man, thank you again for coming on. I appreciate it, and keep killing it, man. Keep killing it.
I appreciate you for having me. Sorry for being late. I definitely owe you another one if we want it. And again, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, I will be in your DMs. I promise.
Sounds good.
Have a good one, man. All right, there we have it. Oh, esports director for eNASCAR. I didn't realize that. Why didn't I realize that? I don't know why I didn't realize that. Oh my goodness, guys, we did it. Interview day. It's over. It's finally over. Can crawl back into my hole. Hello, everybody. I need to go raid somebody. Who's on? Anybody on? And there's a lot of people on. Cause I wore like 12 hats plus that one. Ah, gotcha. Bro, it sounds like you were the do it all, be it all kind of guy there. And that's awesome, man. That's fucking sweet. I hope to get into a position. Guys, I want to work in esports. I just want to. I want to be in. I want to do the thing. Who's the lineup for tomorrow? It's supposed to be Zane. Just Riot. Oh, sorry, Adrian.
Count of three.
Yo.
Name your favorite dinosaur.
Delay some in. Hello.
One,
Thank you.
2, 3.
Rex on point.
If you were a chick, who's the one guy you would sleep with?
Rex on point.
What? Did we just become best friends?
Yup.
Yo, Dilly Salmon. Hello, did we just become best friends? I think we did. Welcome in. I appreciate you. Yeah. So Zane, yeah. Just DM me and let me know when you're gonna be good, because you never DM me, bro. But yeah. So we're gonna have Zane on. I love when Zane does the dev streams. Yeah, it's good. He's always got a lot to say. He provides a very interesting perspective on just about everything. Really love it. Okay, cool. Is Zane the picture or the dev stream, right? He's a little bit of both. I just like looking at his picture. I'm not surprised by that. Zane, you're not gonna have a camera tomorrow, right? I don't think you're gonna have a camera tomorrow. All right, we gotta go raid somebody. Who can we raid? We're gonna go raid Jerry. What the hell is Jerry playing? He's playing Overcooked. Playing Overcooked. We're gonna go raid Jerry Mentalman. This is the guy that I know from Crip Stream. We'll talk. All right, dude. They got lost in my eyes. Oh yeah. Okay, bye. Cool. How strong is the beard game, bro? His beard game is the strongest, bro. He's the bearded one. All right, so we're gonna go raid Jerry Mental MENTLEMEN. He's playing Overcooked, which is a cheeky little game. Guys, better be a good streamer Rex. He's okay. He's British. I think he's British. He's got an accent, so maybe you'll like the accent. I'm just gonna go say hi because I know him from Crip stream. But yeah, we're gonna raid him. Again, playing Overcooked. He's funny as shit. I'll say that much. But thank you again, guys. I appreciate you all for being here for the dev stream, for the interview day. I'm gonna get the interviews up on the YouTube channel here shortly, and yeah, thank you again. I'm Overcooked. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Bye.
Yeah, so all the fishies are on.
Chicken,
Whoa,
Peter, you
being
just
raided,
chicken.
being raided. Rex on point. Welcome on in, how you doing? Oh my god, this is...
One cheese, one lettuce and cheese, buddy.
Sorry, please forgive us for completely ignoring the fact that we're being raided. There is no way I can read all of that.